What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning / afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I want to talk about Jacque Vaughn potentially switching up his lineups a little bit. After last night's embarrassing loss to the Chicago Bulls in Chicago by the final score of 131-87, where the Nets got absolutely destroyed throughout the entire game. This wasn't something that happened in the second half, or it started in the first half and they started to creep back in, and eventually they fell back down again. The Nets were pretty much getting destroyed all throughout this game yesterday. And I was watching one of my good buddies' podcast this morning, Big Fan Breezy, with the BrooklynNets. And he was talking about the Nets potentially, or what they should do, is try to limit some of the minutes of some of the players in the current rotation and try to take some of the guys that are on the bench right now and expand their minutes. What happened to Edmund Sumner? What happened to Yuta Watanabe? Why is Nicholas Claxton's minutes starting to reduce? I get he's maybe a little worn down. Day'Ron Sharpe is becoming a problem right now on the court. Cam Thomas, you might have to throw this dude back into the starting lineup. I would think about putting Finney Smith in the backup role. I would think about putting Finney Smith in the backup role, and I would go with Thomas and Dinwiddie as my backcourt, with Johnson, Claxton, and Bridges as my front court. Johnson's got the length and athletic ability to be a front court player. I would get Sumner back in there as a backup point guard. I would start limiting the minutes of Joe Harris, who's done nothing. Limit more minutes for Royce O'Neal. Same thing with Seth Curry. Even though Seth Curry lit it up yesterday, I'd limit his minutes. I get Yuta Watanabe some more minutes at the power forward position. And I don't even know what to think about Ben Simmons. I mean, I read a report this morning saying that Ben Simmons, there's been no talk about shutting Ben Simmons down for the season because of that knee issue. But at what point, when do you just pull the plug and just give it up after the season? He's not helping you right now on the court. But right now what the Nets are doing is not helping because their offense is not working. This basketball team has to think about maybe making some changes to this lineup. And I'm glad Big Fan Breezy talked about this on his podcast this morning, recapping the Brooklyn Nets and just talking about the Nets. This was an out-and-out disaster yesterday. They don't have enough offense right now on this team. And you're going to have to start changing the lineups up a little bit because Edmund Sumner was providing you with some decent offense when he was playing on the court. Cam Thomas is your best offensive player right now. Claxton has disappeared in the offense. Bridges was pedestrian. Cam Johnson was off to a very strong start at the beginning, and then he just disappeared throughout the rest of the game. What are the Nets going to do right now in terms of offense? Are they going to keep sticking with this lineup? Are they going to keep sticking with the defensive lineup that didn't show any defense yesterday? I would change it up. I would put Cam Thomas in the starting lineup. I would play Edmund Sumner off the bench as a backup point guard. Play Yuta Watanabe as the backup forward / center. Still give some more time for Sharpe. But if he starts fouling too much and becomes a liability on the court, give him a quick plug. Maybe try small ball. Because this team right now is just... The lineup that they're constructed right now currently with on the court is not working. You need to do something and make some type of adjustments with this team. So, I'm really curious to see if Jacque Vaughn does any type of coaching adjustments where he might switch up the lineup a little bit. And maybe he decides to play Cam Thomas in the starting lineup and he puts either Cam Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith on the bench. Now, I know Finney-Smith and Johnson have been starters for their whole career. I'd rather keep Johnson in the starting lineup because he has the propensity to sometimes go off offensively. But I mean, it's obvious the offense should be moving through either Mikal Bridges or Cam Thomas. They're the two best offensive players on this team. Cam Johnson right now probably being third. You could say Seth Curry, but he's too inconsistent shooting. Joe Harris is too up and down offensively. Same thing with Royce O'Neal. Patty Mills is pretty much a DNP. I would rather see Sumner out there because he could provide this team with some offense. I don't know why he's out of the lineup. Maybe it's because he hasn't gained the coach's trust. Maybe he's a little banged up. Like I said last night, it was a warning that the Nets should try to do something different and try to fix up this lineup a little bit. Try something different. Mix up the lineup. Do something. Change something. That was bad yesterday. Now the defense, I think the defense overall will be okay. I think last night was just one of those days for the Nets. Defensively. Offensively, that's a different story. Offensively, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Because offensively, I still see problems with this team. Offensively, I mean, like I mentioned last night, who's your go-to scorer? Who is the guy that when the game is on the line and you're either down by 2 or you're leading by 2, who are you giving that ball to ice the game or put you back up in the lead? I normally say Spencer Dinwiddie, but he was awful last night. Maybe his minutes should be starting to get cut. But that's the question I want to know right now. Who is the guy or guys that you could say you can give the ball to, ISO, one-on-one, and he's going to be able to consistently go to the basket, draw fouls, get to the foul line, make big buckets, and put up at least 20 points per game or close to 20 points per game. Because right now, there's nobody on this team. In the first few games, this new lineup has been put together that's shown it. The closest guy to me is Cam Thomas. And I get it, the rest of his game is not that good. But it's just so bad offensively right now. You are just dying to get an offensive score on the court. You might not have any choice but to put this kid on the court. And I think at this point, change up the lineup, Jacque. Unless you really believe that this team is going to bounce back against Atlanta. And if they do, that's a good sign because this Atlanta game tomorrow is a must-win now. Especially the fact that you got the Knicks crawling right behind you. And you have a 3-game stretch afterwards against the Bucks, the Knicks, and the Celtics. So this is a big, important game. But I want to see this lineup changed up. I want to see Yuta Watanabe get more minutes at the power forward or center position. If you go small, I want to see Sumner get some more minutes at the point guard position behind Thomas and Dinwiddie. I want to see Joe Harris's minutes start cut down. I don't know what to think about Ben Simmons if he's even playing anymore. But there needs to be some alterations on this team. But you guys let me know in the comments section what you think. If you think that Jacque Vaughn should try to change up the lineup a little bit, including the starting lineup, put Cam Thomas in the starting lineup, reduce the minutes of Royce O'Neal and Joe Harris and maybe Seth Curry, get Edmund Sumner and Yuta Watanabe back on the floor more consistently. And what is your state of the Nets after last night's loss going into tomorrow's game against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta? Let me know in the comments section. Hit the like button. Helps the channel out. Appreciate all the support you guys always give me. Thank you very much. And give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85. More news updates and chatters around the Brooklyn Nets. And always turn on that bell for notifications on when the next video or short is dropping on the channel around the Brooklyn Nets. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.